Okay, so it sounds like you've experimented with shifting some before. And this one's going to be a pretty straightforward version. So for that ending that we would do, so we played the melody a couple times when we're ready to end it. Everything's going to be the same up until the last like phrase or so. So it'll be... And then this is the new part. So it's going to go... And then the regular... We just play it slower and draw it out more, just to give it like that nice dramatic ending. So the only part that changes is this part. So it'll start with an open D and go to the first finger on the G, and then open second on the D, and then we'll go open third on the A. And then here's where the shift comes in. And the way I think of shifting, that's helpful to me, especially when it comes to intonation on the fiddle, since that's something we always have to be thinking about since we don't have frets, is we kind of create almost a fret system in our head for this. So we're shifting. What I call third position is when essentially what's happening is your hand is going to the place where your first finger is playing what your third finger usually would play, hence the third position. So second position, your first finger is playing what your second finger would usually play, so forth and so on. So like if you were to take your hand and go and shift your first finger up where it was hitting that note, then you're in second position. And you can hit slightly higher notes. Well, the same thing is true for the third position. So what we're doing essentially is we're shifting, and this is not the note we're hitting, but the place that we're putting our hand is where we would put our hand if we wanted to play this note with our first finger. Like that. And so we could actually do this in the song if we wanted to. We could go... sorry, I messed it up. So we're just putting our first finger down instead of our third finger. And that already has us in third position. So we can either shift that way, or we can do what I did earlier, which is hit this note in the normal first position. And then I take my third finger and shift it up to play what I would usually play on the E string with my first finger. It goes... So it's an F sharp note on the A. And then now that my hand is up there, it's kind of parked in this position. So I go to the E string and I can play a first finger and a fourth finger. And I'm reaching much higher notes. So the only notes that we're playing in that higher position with the shifting that we just did, there are three notes that we're playing. So which is an F sharp, and then, which is just an A note if you want to check yourself. And then a D note with your fourth finger. And then we just shift back down to first position, so we just let our hand go back to neutral. So it's also kind of nice when you shift, if you have the opportunity to slide into it. That's really nice because it kind of lets you find the note without having to find it exactly right the first time. So if you start a little bit low and go, that's kind of a nice way to do it, because technically you're kind of doing a sped up version of, just kind of easing into it. So that's a nice little trick for shifting if you can incorporate it. But yeah, so again, I'll play it slowly and then we'll break it down together. So...